All right, guys, so I'm going to jump right into this head first. So, quick background on this topic that I'm discussing. I'm discussing about African diaspora wars, and what I identify as African diaspora is any group of people who have a lineage or ethnic ties to Africa historically from their ancestors. Okay, now I myself was not born in the USA. I'm not a spokesman for all, foundational Black Americans born in the USA. However, my parents were born from here, and I just happened to be born abroad. And I lived in multiple countries abroad, but I spent most of my time in Germany. Okay, so when I moved to the USA, particularly in Florida, I seen a lot of different internal, reactions to the word black and how it's identified as. And we have to be mindful. Race is a social construct because prior to the 1600s, no groups of people called themselves black or white. That is a created social construct that was created, and obviously it came to life more and more by the generations because people to this day are still calling themselves black and white. It's a created social construct. It's not even a real thing. But since we have made it a reality in our lifetime, in America especially, let's talk about some of the fundamental differences. Now, what I'm about to say applies to every group of people on the planet, but I'm going to focus specifically on African diaspora because I relate to it personally. Now, coming from Germany and eventually migrating over here to the USA, one thing I found as I live in Florida is that I see a lot of this in real lifetime. Like I'll see African Americans, and then I'll see Caribbean, and specifically I'm talking about like Dominicans. So if a Dominican is in Florida and they're viewed as black, and then you hear Dominicans say I'm not black, right? They're looking at it from a different lens because from their perspective, based on my conversation with groups of Dominicans, is they don't have the race census as their top identity. It's more nationality. So Dominicans can vary in different shades. They could be what you would call white, brown skin, or dark skin, and all of them are Dominican. There is no white Dominican or black Dominicans. And that's how it is in Germany, to be honest. There is no black Germans or white Germans. Everybody's German, one nationality. Now, it doesn't mean that colorism and racism does not exist, but it does mean the vast majority of people are trained to believe everybody's one nationality. In America, not so much. When you come here, it's cut and dry. You're black or white, and that's due to the history. Keep in mind, most black Americans, from their perspective, they look at it as the Civil Rights Bill, the 1965 Immigration Act. They are the ones who fought for that because they were here during the whole 200-300 years of segregation. So most people that are here today or have family members that are not naturalized born USA citizens and immigrated here, they weren't here for those 300 years. So when you come here and you say you're not black to an African American, they look at it as you're denying being black because at that time, historically, it was not a benefit to be black. So that's how it is. And I think that confusion comes from that. So I would encourage everybody to stop attacking one another and start listening to one another, and let's do it in love.